witness even when life is unfair. Our Bible treasure for today is taken from Genesis chapter 39 verses 20 to chapter 41 verses 43. This can't be happening, Joseph muttered under his breath. Joseph has just been put in prison for being falsely accused of mistreating Potiphar's wife. Joseph was sad because things were looking bad. He had been sold as a slave by his brothers and was took to a foreign land called Egypt, and now he'd been thrown into jail for doing nothing wrong. It was cold and it was dark. The food was terrible. Joseph felt alone and afraid. There were so many questions that he had. He wondered if this was all part of God's plan. Joseph had some doubts, but he still trusted God. I know God will help me through this tough time, said Joseph. While he was in prison, he helped the prisoners. Some of the prisoners started having dreams they couldn't understand. Joseph, can you help me understand this dream that I had? Joseph asked what had happened in their dreams. They described these weird dreams, and Joseph, through God's help, was able to explain these dreams. One of those prisoners left prison and went back to work for Pharaoh, but he never mentioned Joseph's name. Joseph had been forgotten. The jail guard was impressed at how Joseph was helpful towards the prisoners. Joseph had been put in charge by the jail guard. Despite how things were, Joseph wanted to help others around him in prison. Would you be able to help others through a tough time? Joseph did show that despite everything going on, he wanted to be God's witness. Joseph waited on God while God worked behind the scenes. A few months went by. A few years went by. Now Pharaoh was struggling with some strange dreams, but no one in the palace could help him. I know of someone in prison who can help interpret your dreams, said Pharaoh butler. Go get him. What are you waiting for, said Pharaoh. Well, I saw these thin-looking cows eat the healthy cows that had gone to eat the grass, said Joseph. God helped Joseph to understand and explain to Pharaoh that there would be a famine. Pharaoh was amazed at the wisdom and saw that Joseph would be a good leader. Joseph was given the job as the ruler for all of Egypt, second only to Pharaoh. Joseph's witness was not easy with all the bad things that had happened to him, but he continued trusting God through prayer. We can learn from Joseph's story that no matter how hard it gets, we can trust God to help us. God has a plan for each of us. It's your turn now. What had happened to Joseph when he was falsely accused by Potiphar's wife? Would you have responded the way Joseph did? What would you do if you were mistreated by a classmate or friend? Would you continue to pray and trust God? List some things that can help you witness even when you feel misunderstood and alone.